Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Prime, and today we are going to be talking about part 2 of my previous video about vintage GoBots. If you haven't seen it, I really recommend you go back and watch the video, and so you're all up to speed. Now let's get into this. Fun facts regarding the Challenge of the GoBots in North America TV series, or the Machine Men in Australia. Pretty much the same show, they just changed the name and the part of the song when you first will start watching it, right? So let's get into some really cool fun facts.
Mighty Machine Men, mighty vehicles. Mighty Machine Men, mighty robots. Mighty Machine Men, mighty robots.
The Internet Movie Database gave Challenge of the GoBots, or Machine Men, a 6.3 out of 10, with the highest episode being the Fall of GoBotron Part 3, which was an 8.4 out of 10. The episode was from Season 2, Episode 38, which aired on November 13th, 1985. In that episode, Leader 1 and the other Guardians are left helpless when a new enemy has captured Smallfoot, and they have to figure out who that really is. If you're wondering who Smallfoot is a GoBot who is a red pickup truck, and she is part of the GoBots team, who is very compassionate, and she has a lot of heart, and she makes a big part of the team, the team's heart, right? And that's another reason why the GoBots felt helpless when she got kidnapped. Because who would want to kidnap her? She's not violent like the Renegades, and it turned out that this was a new enemy. Another characteristic of Smallfoot is that she has a never say die attitude. So when something does happen, she's there until it's done, and she's very trustworthy, and that is another reason why she was kidnapped. For the lowest rated episode by the Internet Movie Database was from Season 2, called The Third Column, and it was rated 3.7 out of 10. This episode aired on November 25th, 1985. The episode was about a big revolt in the Renegades camp, where the character Zero tries to take over as leader over Psykill, just like in Transformers, Starscream, and Megatron. But a little bit different. A little bit about Zero. Zero transforms into a black World War I or World War II airplane, and he has been around longer than Psykill, and he's seen how the team has ran during Psykill's reign of leadership of the Renegades, and he's not very too happy. So that's why he wanted to take over, because he thinks he knows better.
Machine Robo.
Some fun facts about the Japanese anime Machine Robo are, on the back of the toys, it's shown that the beings or the robots of Machine Robo are actually from the planet Romulus, not to be confused with the Star Trek planet Romulus. Totally two different fandoms, totally two different alien worlds. Romulus was destroyed by invaders from the planet Zone. Because of the invasion of these monsters, they had to leave their home world and come to Earth. Unfortunately, this story was abandoned. This was only on the toy boxes. But for the show, it was actually abandoned, and the story was actually changed in the new Machine Robo anime, Revenge of Cronos. So the first Japanese anime TV series, Machine Robo, Revenge of Cronos, first aired in May 28th in 1987, running for 47 episodes, and it was produced by Ashi Productions. A large part of the Machine Robo toy line was actually exported by Tonka to the North American markets as GoBots and the Rock Lords. To date, from the anime, only 15 episodes have been released on DVD with English subtitles. The rest of it is still in Japanese. So the story about the Revenge of Cronos is, it takes place on the mechanical world known as Cronos. A band of villains came to the planet called Gailandar, and they were searching for this mythical energy called Hierebred. Two individuals that it focused on, Rom and Liaza, are individual robots on this planet who have souls, and after he finds out that his father gets killed, he finds this sword called the Wolf Sword Keru, and he uses this sword to transform into a more powerful form to help him fight against these invaders. As per AnimeNewsNetwork.com, this show actually got an 8.5 out of 11 stars for its rating, so which is considered a good rating for the show. In more recent times, Machine Robo actually was part of a PlayStation 2 video game called Super Wars MX. And what this game was about, it had a mixture of different robotic Japanese anime characters spanning different fandoms, and which included Machine Robo in Japan. And they combined it all into this one game, and this game was only available in Japan. And just recently, a couple years ago, Cykill from the Renegades and the GoBots actually made it in to star in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Technically. If you ever watched Guardians of the Galaxy, or more specifically, Guardians of the Galaxy, the holiday special, you'll see Drax the Destroyer when he is in California looking for Kevin Bacon. He comes across these cosplayers, and one of them is cosplaying as Cykill, and well, Drax beats him up. Yeah.
I'm sorry, GoBots killed his cousin.
I'll rip your head off!
Drax, stop being a bitch.
The first toy I'm going to be talking about today is Guardian Wrong Way. Wrong Way has been known to, well, go the wrong way. His GPS is horrible, and he's very horrible at directions. So if you want and relying on him to go a certain way and he's never been there, well, good luck. Hence the name Wrong Way. when he isn't confused on the direction he's going, he is dependable and a skilled fighter, and if he's not traveling, he can surprise the Renegades, but only if he's not traveling at the time. Wrong Way is also sometimes known with the less funny name of Skygun. Wrong Way has been on the GoBots TV series, and he was voiced by Frank Welker, the same voice that played Megatron in the Transformers and multiple other characters, famous characters from the 80's show, as you can see on the screen. Wrong Way was released in North America in the GoBots toy line in Series 2 of 1984, and then re-released in Series 3, which came with an additional sticker. In Canada, in Quebec, he was re-released also with the name Trompe. Also in 1985, he was released multiple times in combo gift toy lots in the packaging with other GoBots. In Europe, for the Robo Machine toy line, he was re-released as Skygun. The Australian version of Wrong Way in Machine Man had two releases. One release was just like this. He was black and he had the name Wrong Way. But he also had another release where he was actually painted olive green, and his name was Apache Cop-Tur Man. In 1993, Robo Machines re-released him into the European market again. In Great Britain, they changed his name to Helicopter 1, and in Italy, they changed his name back to Skygun. These versions in Europe in 1993 removed the part of the toy where you can see here where you can slide his head up and down, this little lever here. I'm not going to do it because it's very temperamental, and when they originally came out in the 80's, it was temperamental. So in 1993, like I said, in the European market, they removed that. So that wasn't a issue, but Bandai, unfortunately, like some of their other releases in Europe, used the material that they used. Nowadays, if you had some of the European versions, there's a chance they could go moldy because of the material. Skygun, or Wrong Way, I inherited him from my brother. My brother was our original GoBots fan in the family, and then I inherited it from him. We are missing some accessories. His propeller, which would, in robot mode, would be in his chest right there. Right there, right? And his head is pretty loose. Like if you try to move it up and down, like I said before, the lever right there where my finger is. Not sure if you can see that. But anyway, I'm not going to try to transform him because I don't want to get his head jammed. He is pretty old, you know, from the 80's, right? But besides that, he's in good shape. He's not missing any paint or anything. It's just he's missing his propeller, and his head is kind of temperamental, I guess you could say, right? I looked on eBay and I found various different prices for the different versions of the toy. So I'm just gonna list a couple of them. The minimum, the lowest one I could find that came with the accessories for the North American market for the GoBots was $25 US, and the most expensive one I could find was $449 US. For the Robo Machine toy line from Europe, the cheapest I could find was $39.99 Euro. And the most expensive one I could find was 119 euros. From the Machine Man toy line from Australia, and he was going for on eBay was 115 Australian dollars.
ロボ軍団に新たな指令が下った。合体せよ、マシンロボ。2台のスーパーメカが完全合体。バンダイダブルマシンロボ完成。ランドコマンダーもスタンバイ。
Toy number 2 is Zeemon. Zeemon is the leader of the Guardian Council, so yes, he is a Guardian on GoBotron. He is a renowned political leader on GoBotron. Centuries ago, Zeemon lost his ability to transform, and then he had to go through a procedure to restore his functions later on. While Zeemon is one of the oldest GoBots around and also currently retired on GoBotron, he still is one of the most powerful and wisest guardians who you don't want to truffle with and get on his bad side. Zeemon is also voiced by Frank Welker.
We'll be ready next time.
Zeemon was actually released in 1984 in the North American market, the GoBot market, in Series 1 of the Super GoBots. There was also a second and third release in North America, which he was not completely red, but he had a black back to him instead of a red back, which I don't have because it fell off. But yeah. In the European market, he only came with a black back or black top, and the toy line was DX Robo machines. In 1985, he was re-released again in the European market as a Super GoBot, and then the same version was re-released again in the Australian market. Like all the other GoBots in this video and most of the last video, I inherited Zeemon from my brother. He's in pretty good shape, other than he's missing the back of his back, or the back of the car, the top part of the car, like where you sit for the trunk or for the back seats, right? But yeah, he's in pretty good shape. He is part of, like here, the back door, the front door here. It is fading a bit, so the paint is fading. But he's still functional, he's still in good shape. And now, I will show you how to transform him. So what you want to do, you want to move this part back like that. And then move the front part of the car, his chest, up. And then move it like that. And then flip him up so you can see the underbelly of the car. And his arms fold in, and then the same with this one side that folds in, and then his metallical arms go in like that, and then this side goes in like that, and then fold it in so the wheels come out. So the front part is done. And then you look at the back, make sure the rear wheels are up like that. Right? And then it's just his legs. Fold in his feet. And the other one is done like that. And you just push it in. And voila! He's in car mode. The cheapest I could find him on eBay was $5 US as a Super GoBot. And the most expensive I could find was $249.95 US as a Super GoBot.
Super GoBots.
You'll never forget the day your home was invaded by Super GoBots, each sold separately from Tonka.
And coming in as number 3 in this video is Cop-Tur or Helicopter, depending on the version or knockoff version you get. So Cop-Tur, he is known as being one of Cycle's trusted renegades, and he has been committed to the Renegades for centuries. Cop-Tur loves to smash things up with his propeller, and his role on the team, he shares it with his ally Crasher, who is a female renegade who's basically second in command to Cycle. But they work together really well, and they love to fight guardians. One of the downsides for Cop-Tur is a bit of a klutz. He is known to drop things and fall, and yeah, that's the downside. If you don't want someone to be a klutz, don't pick him. Right? In the show, he was actually voiced by 2 different actors. The first actor was Bob Holt, and the second voice actor was Arthur Burgard.
Okay, Cop-Tur, you've had enough fun for a while. Now get back to work. Okay.
Need a hand, Cop-Tur?
In 1983 Series 1, Tonka released the first version of Cop-Tur into North America on the toy shelves, which was a repackage of Gyro from Machine Robo. Cop-Tur has been known to have balance issues, at least in the original version. His upper body was heavier than his lower body, and so if you were trying to stand him up, not this guy's issue, but if you were trying to stand up the original, he would fall over all the time. And the Canadian version, the French version, his name was Cop-Tur. In 1983, in the European market, Cop-Tur was released with the name of Helicopter. In 1984, in Australia for Machine Men, he was re-released with the same name as Cop-Tur, not Helicopter, as in North America. A little bit about the toy that I have here. I inherited it from my brother, and if you probably noticed by looking at the pictures in this video, he is a different color than most of the pictures, or all the pictures that you've seen on the screen. Because he is not from Bandai, he is not from Tonka. He's actually a knockoff. I actually have the original box. Yeah, the original box from the 80's. It does say Machine Robo on it. And it says Helicopter. So I thought at first, like, is this like the Japanese or European version? But no. If you look at the very bottom right, I'm not sure if you can see that. It says made in Taiwan. I even have the original plastic that goes over top. And a big thing in the 80's with the GoBots and Transformers, robots was a huge market, and there was a lot of knockoffs. And I think this was from a gas station that my parents were at, and they wanted to buy us a toy. And if you look at the price tag here, if you can see it, it says 99 cents. So, yeah. But he doesn't fall over if you have him right. So he's actually in really good shape too. Like, really good shape. I found him in a chest. And for I don't know how long. So I kept him in good shape. So I'll show you how to transform him. The sword doesn't really go anywhere. It's just an accessory, like a lot of Transformers were. So I'm just gonna take the sword out. And then I'll take his other weapon is the blades. So I'll just put that down for a moment. So with this guy, and he goes by helicopter. Just move the legs down and like that. So once again, I'll just show you. I just move them up like that. And then yeah, the arms went down. I did that by accident, but I'll show you. They just go in like this. Flip them over. And then you grab the propeller. And then you see like there's a little hole right there. Put the propeller into the hole and snap it in. Oh, and snap it in. And voila! Helicopter or Cop-Tur. When looking online for helicopter, I only could find one version of the same knockoff, and he was going for $7.50 US.
GoBots, and you control their every move. Behold, by Tor, Cop-Tur, Turbo, and Sidekill. The GoBot invasion has begun. GoBots from Tonka.
And the last toy, number 4, coming in with some cool Breeze. And Breeze is a helicopter toy. He was never on the show, so I couldn't find an actual bio for him. But he's actually from Wendy's. And so we actually have 2 of them. He's supposed to have 2 propellers and not 1. That's his accessory. And yeah, I couldn't find any bio on him at all. Like the others, I inherited from my brother. And yeah, he's pretty simple. I mean, he was a Wendy's toy, but he was a Wendy's GoBots toy. And so to transform him, it's pretty simple. You keep the arms out, and then you push the body down, like so. And then you move the arms back. And then the feet there, you just flip it out. And then again. And then you put the propellers on both the back and the front if you had both of them. Voila! If you go on eBay and see if you could find him, the lowest I could find was $10.77 with both propellers. And the most expensive I could find was $47.49 US.
And now, from a restaurant near you, Wendy's presents a mighty GoBot offer for your kids.
GoBots, GoBots.
Mighty GoBots have come to Wendy's. 6 special edition GoBots, 99 cents each with any purchase.
GoBots, GoBots. Mighty robots.
6 robots disguised as mighty vehicles. Your kids can pretend they're from GoBotron, but you can only get them at Wendy's. A different GoBot each week, 99 cents each.
Well, that was a wrap, guys, and I just want to thank you for joining me down memory lane and going through the history of GoBots in the last 2 videos and going through some of these GoBot toys. All the ones I talked about today and the previous video were originally supposed to be for part of my Epic Treasures videos, but I thought I'd make a special video for you GoBot lovers. So they won't be actually in the Epic Treasures videos, the future ones. But I wanted to do like a combination of a profile video and a toy haul just for you guys. And I appreciate all the viewers. And when looking for vintage toys, just remember, if you aren't having fun doing it, then have fun doing it. And that's just prime.